Alright guys, we're back with another video and we probably have my biggest mail day of the year. The total value of all the purchases today came to around $7,000. By the time this video comes out, I think it will be Thursday, so 2 days before the Oz National. So a lot of these purchases were made in preparation for Oz National, which I think will be the biggest card show that Australia has had to date. And for once, because I am posting the video right after I do record it and bringing most of it to the Oz National, you guys will have an opportunity to buy it versus me selling and dealing beforehand before the video does come out and then people asking me, can I buy this card? No, sorry, I sold it weeks ago. All right, so let's get started with potentially my favorite pickup. So this lot cost me just under $2,000. Incredible lot here. A lot of great stuff. So Gene, I don't think he actually watches my videos. Yeah, I don't think he does, but he was actually leaving the hobby. So he had a massive sale and then we were able to work out a deal for some of the cards. Like it was basically me buying the singles and then there was some later stuff that I did buy in the end. Let's start off with my favorite pickup from the entire lot. So Penny Hardaway, sneaker swatch, on-card auto out of 17. I think this is first off the line. Enclosed, game-worn used material and autograph are guaranteed. So he's got his shoe there as well. And initially when I bought it, I assumed that this was his autograph, like it's a signed Penny Hardaway shoe that they've obviously cut up and then put inside a card. And I had to just confirm that after I purchased it, and a couple people out there, I collect Wade, number one, first and foremost, was able to find me a photo which shows that this is his autograph. So, I mean, this is an incredibly nice card. I don't, like, this isn't a card that I'm gonna PC, but these sorts of cards are ones that I like cards where they've obviously signed here and then you've seen them sign, whether it's intentional or not, the fabric behind it. So Nene actually does that for a few of these cards that I've seen out there. Darius Baisley is probably the number one person I've seen do it on a lot of his NT RPAs, flawless RPAs. And yeah, I always kind of wonder, does that mean there's a little slight premium on it? That's where I'm kind of confused on, because like the last comps of this card without this sort of signature on it were around $700. So I'm wondering, and you know, let me know in the comments what you guys think, like whether the signed shoe in the background means that there is a slight premium to the card itself. So it's a really nice card regardless. My favorite pickup for the entire video. But yeah, some incredible cards still to come. So next up we have Dominique Wilkins, flawless 3-color patch auto. I was gonna say RPA, but it's not a rookie. Early flawless, on-card auto, game one patch. You can't go wrong with that sort of stuff. Really love old school flawless, and it does tend to sell quite well. And it is, you know, with the market kind of going up, I feel like flawless and early year cards, your Kabooms and all that sort of stuff are the cards that seem to be going up the most. So really cool card there. Following up with a Nikola Jovic 1 RPA, 3-color patch out of 99. We had a bunch of other cards here. So we also did like a lot deal with some of the mid-end cards that he was selling, which wasn't featured in the sale. So a quad patch, AD, Victor Oladipo, LaMarcus Aldridge, Bradley Beal, a triple patch here of Ricky Rubio, Kevin Love, Andre Kirilenko, on-card auto, Horace Grant from Opulence, Amari Stoudemire, select sticker auto. We have a Luke Longley Panini Signatures on-card auto out of 249. A guy that has an incredible auto, Dikembe Mutombo out of 99 black gold. Rest in peace, Dikembe. David Robinson on-card auto from Panini Signatures out of 35. And then the Dwayne Wade here from Gala out of 10 patch, 3-color patch here. Gorgeous card. And then the final card from this lot purchase. I'm not a massive fan of booklet cards, more so in terms of selling. Like in terms of like collecting them, I love booklet cards, but in terms of selling, they're hard to store. They take up a lot of space, obviously, when it comes to the showcase itself, but I mean, this is just a really nice card here, and I'm really unsure in terms of what I'm gonna do with it because, you know, it features one of my main PCs in Yao Ming, but a quad booklet patch here, Tim Duncan, Yao Ming, Dwight Howard, Kevin Garnett. Kevin Garnett's just the jersey with no patch. Just a really insane card, 19 out of 25. You don't really find these cards sell too often. I think the last sale of this was like 2 or 3 years ago. So yeah, I mean, just this card in itself for Yao is really cool. Still unsure what I'll do with it. I'll bring it to Oz National and see how it does go there. So next bunch of pickups I got in a trade for a Matt card case. So I did actually, first up, so I'll give a shout out to Mitch. I did actually pick up these 2 cards. I can't actually remember what I paid for them, maybe 30 bucks each. Wanting to have a couple cards for the Matt's card case in terms of actually displaying them at shows. So yeah, I did pick up these 2 cards, the Muse. He also threw this one in, the Austin Reeves. He said to give this one out to a young collector. So Oz National, if you want this Austin Reeves card impeccable and you're a young collector, hit me up. I'll give it to you because yeah, he said to pass on to a young collector. So I did make this purchase about 2 to 3 weeks ago. So I bought this Mew PSA 10. This was the card that we essentially did for the 4.0 case. I did actually pay extra, so $30 on top of the case for this card. Now at the time, the comps were like 200 to 230, so we kind of valued it around the middle there, and then I paid cash on top of that. But since then, the comps of this card are crazy. It's almost doubled. Now, you guys know I'm not into Pokemon at all. I don't know what's warranted this card almost doubling in the space of 2 weeks, but this card's actually gone up to like $400 based off like, you know, recent sales. And it's not just like one outlier sale. There's multiple sales at 380, 400, 420. I don't know what's causing it, but it's just, yeah, just crazy to see. I did hit Mitch up about it and he was like, congrats. But I mean, I didn't buy this card knowing that it would go up. I just bought it more so to obviously trade off and then sell it off to make some money back for the case. But in the end, it ended up getting a really a nice sale in the end in terms of it going up. So we'll see how who I can sell this one to at Oz National. But perhaps I'll probably hit up my man Ash from Shiny Card Traders. Next bunch of autos I bought from my man Tom. Paid just under $400 for these. Just a lot here. So some that will go into Whatnot, some that will go into the show on Saturday and Sunday. Cole Anthony Infinite auto. We have Avika Zubac, the Fractal auto out of 75. Bradley Beal out of 49 Mosaic Auto, Tumani Kamara Obsidian RPA 3 color patch out of 49. Dante DiVincenzo Spectra Auto. We have a Carl Anthony Towns from Topps Chrome or Topps 3 on card auto out of 49. Another bunch here, as you can see, probably the nicest card just fall behind. Avita Sabonis out of 99, Panini 1 on-card auto. Al Horford out of 75 on-card auto from 1. Kobe Buffkin Silver Prism Decker auto. Usman Dieng 3 color patch out of 49 RPA. The nicest card in this lot, Josh Giddey on-card out of 88 from Impeccable Team-All. Miles Turner out of 99 on-card auto with the jersey now on the Bucks. What uniform is that? The red uniform from the Pacers. Interesting. Don't know where, yeah, I can't remember, I can't picture Pacers uniform with the red unless it's like an alternate that I'm just missing. Nikhil Alexander Walker, 3 color patch, 1 RPA out of 49. AJ Johnson on-card auto from Origin. It's not the greatest auto, but I know a lot of people do like him. And Aaron Neesmith on-card auto from Optic Contenders. Next pickup I did get from Michaela. I think I'm getting that right. Purely Pokemon. They've bought a couple of cases off me, but they said if I was interested in some of the NBA cards that they did have, this is the main card that I went for. Trae Young, BGS 95 Auto 10. So I did explain to Michaela, I hope I've gotten that name right because I've forgotten to actually look at who I purchased it from. But the thing with Trae Young autos, rookie autos, is 90 to 95% of them are shielded along with Jaren Jackson Jr. So I was explaining to them that obviously the comps for this card are probably at like $600 to $700, $800 as well, but yeah, you've got to try and find that comp, which is a little bit, not a little bit, but significantly lower and actually seems to be paid for. So comps for this are around $300 for actual true comps for them being paid. Just being Pokemon, I just didn't want them to think that, oh, he's offering 30-40% of the comps out there. I had to explain the whole situation to them. But Trae Young, BGS 95 Auto 10, Prism Auto. Next up from my man Matty. from My Sports Mem. So picked up a nice 4-card lot. One of them still pending or coming here from America. I paid just over $2,000 for these 4 cards. So let's go to this one. I mean, this is the nicest card here. Kevin Durant, rookie auto out of 399. Now in the Houston Rockets. Kind of feels weird. It definitely feels weird to say that Kevin Durant is on the Houston Rockets. Just an NBA player I admire from afar. Always wanted him to, you know, I wish he kind of got that title at Brooklyn, but, you know, unfortunately his foot was just too big for that three-point line for that shot to be counted as a three-pointer. But on-card auto out of 399. Next card up, Andre Iguodala, first year select gold out of 10 PSA 9. People, honestly, I think Andre Iguodala, every time I get a card in a Mailday, anything Andre Iguodala related, I think Andre Iguodala sells the quickest for me whether it comes to shows or private deals. People just love Iggy. First year select, you can't go wrong with this one. And then the last card up, or the third card before I talk about the last one included, third year Michael Jordan, I think, off the top of my head, but Michael Jordan Kenner, starting lineup, PSA 9. Surprisingly, this card does go for a fair bit. I don't know too much about Michael Jordan cards, but yeah, I was surprised at the price of this card, but I guess when people look at the Fleer and the Star rookies and they get priced out of those, they look for the next alternatives, where it's the 1987 Fleer and then the next card after that, which probably is this Kenner card. But yeah, people just look for those sorts of cards. So we'll have this one at the Oz National. And then the fourth card I also had in this one was a very risky, prospective sort of play, maybe not in Matty's eyes, but for my own. But it was a Jackson Smith and Jigba out of 5 contenders gold auto. We kind of valued that at around $500 to $600. I was a little bit reluctant on that card specifically because he's a wide receiver. A little bit of questions in terms of Sam Darnold throwing it to Jackson Smith and Jigba. He had a good season last year, but I was really worried. But after the first 2 weeks of the NFL season, it actually looks like a really good purchase by me because he looks like a top 5 wide receiver at the moment. So I know he plays for the Seahawks, which is Matty's favorite team. So I hope he's happy with how Smith and Jigba is going. I'm waiting for that to come from America to here. Probably a card that I won't be able to sell here. In my opinion, I think I'm going to have to bring it to America when I go there later on in the year and try and sell it there because people aren't going to pay for an out of 5 gold auto here. I think unless it's like a Mahomes, you know, a Brady, like these big quarterbacks, people just don't pay that much for good players in the running back or wide receiver position, unfortunately. It's just the way the market is here in Australia, just because we do have a smaller market, like I just said. Next bunch of pickups I did get from my man, Max. He did say to me he loves seeing his sales to me come up on Mailday videos. So shout out to you, Max. I hope you're enjoying this. Kawhi Leonard, rookie marquee. I paid $75 for these cards. So Ben Wallace, Flux auto. He actually doesn't sign too much, but he's starting to sign a fair bit now. But initially when he wasn't signing, his autos were going for a fair bit. But regardless, he's one of the best defensive players of all time. And one of the best underdog stories of all time, being an undrafted center, winning, you know, defensive player of the years, winning a championship as well for the Detroit Pistons. Pascal Siakam, rookie Spectra RJA. Kevin Durant, the select game-worn jersey. Sam Merrill, Chronicles red auto. Jacoby Walter out of 99. The select. Chris Bosh, Prism Decker. And then the Donovan Mitchell out of 49 select. So that was the entire lot that I got from my man, Max. Next up, we have this incredible card. Now, to some out there, he is the tennis goat. I think, you know, for a lot of us that grew up watching Roger Federer and Rafael Nadal, you could probably place those two up there as well. But to have these three all competitive at such a high, competing at such a high level, for such a large amount of time, you can't really go wrong. I did pay, I think it was like $800 to $900 for it. I actually can't remember off the top of my head, but an on-card order from Topps Graphite. You know, for those out there that haven't kind of kept track of the Topps sets that will be coming to basketball soon, the Topps ones are actually quite nice. Like Topps Graphite, Topps Royalty is really nice. When it becomes licensed for NBA, I think it will be some sets there that people will be chasing. But regardless, on-card order of a GOAT from the sport for 3 figures, I think that's a really nice find. If you watch my earlier content, especially, I think it was like the 4th or the 5th video that I ever posted on YouTube, but I've been big on tennis cards for a long time. I really have kind of come away from it, but I really want to get and kind of solidify, because I think there's a cheaper entry point for a lot of those, those rising stars, those younger players, as well as the GOATs. Really want a Yannick Sinner auto, although his rookie auto it's not really the most eye-appealing card. It's a sticker auto, and then he also has a bit of controversy behind him, but I think him and Alcaraz, they'll match up quite nicely, but I think Sinner can really, really take it up to Alcaraz on the hard court, although he did just lose the US Open final to Carlos Alcaraz. But yeah, I do want a Sinner auto in the future. I had a chance after the Oz Open to buy it at $400, and now it's like $1,200 to $1,300. So maybe I'm priced out of that, but regardless, I'll go for the GOAT level sort of athlete. So really happy to have this Novak Djokovic one in my hands. Next three cards I paid $600 for. So this is probably the oldest purchase that I do have in here. So when you look at this and you go, you only paid $600 for this. These cards were probably only valued at the time at around, obviously I've made a little bit of margin on it, but that was what we kind of worked out as a fair value for it. So Damian Lillard, Fast Break Prism Auto. I mean, this is still like a sub $100 card, but this is a card that in itself could cover the entire lot. And it's just the Kaboom market. The Kaboom market in the last month has just gone nuts. So Trae Young Kaboom, yeah, it's just crazy to see. So like Kaboom's obviously with Panini running out of or losing their license, I think people are going for these iconic parallels. So the Kaboom market, the downtown cards, they're just going crazy at the moment. Trae Young, Kaboom. And then we also have this Russell Westbrook. I forgot what these ones are called. I have sold one of these before, but it is the courtside out of 8. It's a really nice card. I had this one of Joel Embiid in the past. I just forgot the name of it. It's like the blue snakeskin, I can't remember, but if you remember, please let me know down below in the comments, because I can't remember every single parallel that Panini does put out, because they do put out a lot of parallels nowadays. Next card up, I've always wanted to own one of these cards. LeBron James, Michael Jordan, dual game worn jersey. If you guys are a Matt's Card Shop OG watcher, I made a video like 3-4 years ago of cards that I wanted to purchase, or my main goals to purchase for that year. One of them was a Michael Jordan, LeBron James dual jersey. Now at the time, that card was going for like $1,000. I didn't end up buying it. I had other priorities that I wanted to tick off first, but ended up buying this one. Just paid just over $500 for it in the end. The card has halved, but I mean, to get a Michael Jordan game worn used jersey as well as a LeBron on the same card, I really like this card, and I think this one will be, this will be a card that definitely will sell at the Oz National this weekend. Next lot of cards up, I paid $80 for these. So Evan Mobley, Flux out of 35 auto, Keegan Murray, rookie, no, it's not a rookie, it's just a Flux auto. Another Ben Wallace, like I just said, he doesn't sign too much, but now he's signing again a Hoops redemption auto. Marcus Sasser, blue mosaic out of 49 auto. Keontae George, rookie Hoops auto. He does very well for me when it comes to whatnot shows. Tumani Kamara, select, another nice young player for the Trailblazers out of 249. And then another Avdija Sabonis card here from Recon. Surprisingly, a very thick card. I thought it might have been like a card behind there, but it's actually a very thick card. For those that don't know Avdija Sabonis, a lot of people said that if he actually came to America in the 80s, he probably could have been one of the greatest NBA players of all time. But by the time he came to the Trailblazers in the 90s, he was already quite heavy and old, had come and gone through a lot of injuries. So he still performed really good, but he was a center who could shoot threes, and back then that was out of the ordinary. So a lot of a massive what if sort of player, Avdija Sabonis. So anyways, if you enjoyed that storytelling, there you go. Next card up, so we have a Franz Wagner. Shout out to my man Gareth, paid just over $150 for this. Franz Wagner, PSA 10, Auto 10 grade. Today, just beat my man Alperen Şengün in the Eurobasket final. Obviously, Alperen had an incredible tournament. Probably would have won MVP if they did win the entire tournament. But Franz Also, not really spoken about as much, Dennis Schroeder ended up getting Eurobasket MVP, but Franz just showing that he's an all-star caliber player. So being a PSA 10 Auto 10, I think $150, or I think I paid just a little bit above that. I think that's a fairly good price. It is a sticker auto, but PSA 10 Auto 10 grade, I think that should do quite well. All right, next bunch of cards actually we'll do this card next. Shout out to my man Orbit. So I paid just over $200 for this one again. I can't remember off the top of my head. There's a lot of cards in here. Deni Avdija, Silver Prism, PSA 10 Auto. He actually watched my TikTok and my video and he said to me, if you want another Deni auto on top of the Deni autos that you've been selling at your shows, I've got one here to sell. So we made a deal on this one. If you guys missed the TikTok of mine or my YouTube video, a lot of Chinese fans of the NBA are starting to buy a lot of Portland players. And, you know, Deni's one of those players because he's probably going to be their #1 option this season because they think there's going to be a massive Hansen Yang influence that drives up a lot of their prices. And, you know, if it was like a player like, I don't know, Scoot, or even maybe like Shaden Sharp, I probably wouldn't really take too much notice of that, but I actually do think Deni is a solid player, and I think in terms of, you know, buying him up, I'm not relying on that Chinese influence. I'm actually quite confident in how Deni will perform this season. If you look at his stats post All-Star break, they were absolutely incredible. So I think Deni this season could be a potential All-Star sleeper. Portland, I don't know how they're going to go this season, but I think Deni will be their #1 option. And then, yeah, with the Chinese influence in terms of the fans, who knows where his prices will go. But yeah, again, a card that may sell this weekend quite quickly. And the last bunch of cards, I'll give a shout out to my man, Mai. He's one of the earlier supporters of this channel. I paid just over $600 for this lot. Really great guy, Mai. I haven't spoken to him in a long while, but earlier on in my YouTube journey, he did give me a Gardner Minshew Kaboom. Now, I ended up grading that Minshew Kaboom and it got a PSA 10. I would never sell it. It was a gift that I'll always cherish. Anytime someone gives me a gift to thank me for the channel, I've always kept it because I'm just really appreciative of it. Haven't spoken to him in a while, but he did hit me up and said, dude, I want a Marcus Bontempelli lot. So I'm a little bit reluctant when it comes to AFL at the moment because I found in the last 12 months, like, a lot of the card prices in AFL have really just come down. So in terms of like your blue chip sort of players, not so much, but definitely generally like the prospecting sorts of players. Let's talk about like Riley Thilthorpe, for example. Like, he's had an All-Australian type season, but then his cards probably have come down from last year, even though he's played so well. So I don't know what it is. I don't know what the situation is, but I find the blue chip players still sell quite well. And if anything, if I want to take a risk on AFL cards at the moment, it's going to be on a blue chip player like this guy coming up. So a bunch of Marcus Bontempelli cards here. First up, we have a headliner. So really cool card here, 19 out of 95. Still doesn't want a Brownlow medal, unfortunately. He won't win it this year. I'll probably go to like Dacos, you know, Raul Anderson, Jordan Dawson, Bailey Smith potentially as well. But Bond just missed too many games at the start of the season for him to potentially win it this year. But a headliners of Bond, the bang from Marcus Bontempelli, which is out of 210. I think this is like, if you look at AFL cards, I think there's been a massive influence over the last 3-4 years from the American card design. So I think this is a really good comparison to like the Kabooms, even though this one isn't as short printed as the Kabooms, but the bangs of Marcus Bontempelli, another Bont, the tackling specialist, 58 out of 80. Bailey Smith, bang. Dominic Bedendo, platinum draft pick signature. He kind of threw these ones in just to kind of make up the value of the lot. He's not in the AFL at the moment, but I have heard that he might be a chance to get drafted next season. I think he's doing quite well in the VFL. We have another Bont. This is like the blank slate. So again, another very heavily influenced design, I think, from America. And then these two cards coming up next. The Marcus Bontempelli, it's almost like the Future Force signature. It's the AIS AFL Academy, 196 out of 200. I've never owned this card, but I mean, this is like, in terms of like an American mindset, if there's a card that I would want to collect, it would definitely be this card because it's like a rookie card in itself. Maybe, no, this would be number 2. The next card would be number 1. But yeah, these cards I think are really cool. These are like, I know AFL collectors like to collect signatures that aren't rookie, but for me, as a sports, NBA, NFL sort of collector, this is the card I would look at sort of first. And then this card, this is the third time I've owned this card. Not the exact same numbering, sorry, but the exact same draft pick signature. So the first time I bought this was like 4 years ago. I paid $70 for it. I resold it at the time for about actually about a couple years later for around $700. Bought another one for around $300. I sold it at Hobby Hangout for around $400. And then this one, it obviously just came in the lot in itself. So I think, the value of this is probably still around the same of where I sold the last one at. But I'm not too worried about this one. I'm not too worried about, trying to get a sale immediately because he's a blue chip player. He's probably the greatest Bulldog of all time. One of the best, he's definitely one of the best players in the league at the moment. You can debate him, Dacos, but yeah, Bond's just an incredible player. Just ultra consistent. The DPS, 77 out of 400. When you compare him to like a Patrick Cripps as well, he's got that early premiership that they won in 2016. Cripps has got 2 Brownlows, but I think, this card in, 5 to 10 years time is something that you can probably hold on to a little bit more long term. But yeah, if someone offers me a good price for it or pays what I want for it, then I will take it. But it's a card I'm not too worried about in the long term. But yeah, guys, that is it for this entire Mailday. It came out at just under $7,000. Some incredible cards here if you're keen on any of them. Make sure you do check out my store at the Oz National this coming weekend. If you're enjoying the content, as always, leave a like down below, comment down below, and hit the subscribe button if you guys haven't subscribed already. And yeah, guys, I'll see you all in the next video. Take care.